Hello and welcome back to Starving Artist Courses, your all-in-one online music education resource. My name is Juiette and I'm so excited to have you back here. Last week we learned our very first drum beat. So if you did not watch that video yet, I advise you go back and check that out because today we're going to be learning 4 new drum beats, okay? So we want to know the basics before we continue to move forward. Now, last week we learned about quarter notes and eighth notes. Today we want to introduce something called 16th notes. And the way I'm going to teach it, I'm going to use food as my analogy. Now, I love food, so I'm going to be talking about pizza today and pizza slices. Now, some people like pie. I'm not big into sweets, so I'm going to talk about pizza to explain these subdivisions of music, okay? So, imagine that you have a whole pizza. It's not sliced up or anything. It's an entire pizza. That would count as one full measure of music, okay? Now, if you were to cut that pizza into 4 equal parts, now you have 4 quarters, okay? So those will be considered quarter notes. So 4 quarter notes equal 1 whole note, or it would also give us a full measure of music. So the quarter notes will be counted as 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, simple. Now, if we take those quarter notes and divide those in half evenly, now we have 8 slices, or eighth notes, okay? So if you look, 2 eighth notes are the same as 1 quarter note. So when we count eighth notes, we want to say 1 and. And if we were to do the entire thing, it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so that's 8 counts within 4 quarter notes, okay? Next, we will subdivide one more time. Now these slices are getting really thin. So you got eighth notes and you cut all of those in half and now you have 16 slices. So this will be 16th notes, okay? Now that will be counted as 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay? Once again, whole, quarters, eighths, and 16ths. Okay? Now last week when we did our drum beat, we only counted the quarter notes and the eighth notes. Today we're going to add a little bit more to the beat and add in some 16ths. We're still only going to use these 3 components here. We have our hi-hat, our snare, and our kick drum. But we're going to add an extra beat to the kick, and we're going to add some extra strikes on the snare, okay? So for the first one, we're going to do just the eighth notes this time. We're going to continue with the kick on 1 and 3, but we're going to add an extra kick on the and after 3. So we're looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so it's going to be like this. All right, great job. You got 1 drum beat down, 3 more to go. On this next exercise, we're going to do the same pattern on the kick drum, hitting it on the 1, the 3, and the and after 3. And then on the snare, we're going to add 1 extra beat on the 16th note. It's going to be the right before you say 3. So we're going to hit the snare on 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. So we're going to demonstrate that right now. All right, great job. 2 more drum beats to go. On this next one, we're gonna go back to the original pattern on the snare, where we only hit the snare on the 2 and the 4. But this time on the kick, we're gonna hit it on the 1, the before the 3, and the and after 3. So it's gonna be 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Let's go ahead and try it out. All right, you've made it this far. I'm so proud of you. Now, before we do this last one, I do want to mention this is going to take time to get. So if this is a little confusing, the beauty of technology is that you can pause and rewind. So don't progress to the next one until you lock the previous ones. That's what I always say. Make sure you're not trying to rush and just try to cram and fast forward and hurry and get it. Make sure everything is tight. You want it to be nice and solid and in the pocket. You want that groove to be solid so that when you perform with other people, everyone wants to call you because they know that you can stay nice and locked on the drums, okay? So don't try and rush it. Pause and rewind if you have to. Now, on this next beat, we're going to go back to what we did on the snare before when we hit it on the 2 and the right before 3. And then the kick will only be on the 1 and the and after 3. So we're gonna go ahead and dive in and demonstrate that starting at 60 beats per minute. Great job. You have learned 4 additional drum beats, and now you know a total of 5 drum beats that you can use at any time. So your homework this week, just like last time, I want you to listen to music, examine, study the music, and find songs that are using these drum beats and start playing along with it. That's how you continue to grow and develop, okay? Also, as you practice this week, remember to start nice and slow, 60 beats per minute, work your way up to 90. Get it nice and tight, each one of those rhythms that we just worked on. And since you've been here for 3 lessons, you're really showing that you're really committed. You really want to learn this. So I want to offer you the opportunity to join the Starving Artist community. We offer 3 different membership packages on our website that offers the opportunity to be in a network and pool of other aspiring musicians, and also one-on-one lessons with our Starving Artist courses instructors. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and visit starvingartistcourses.com/VIP and become a member today. Also, make sure you don't miss next week's lesson. We're going to be adding in every single component of this drum set, so it's going to be awesome. So go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell so that you're notified when the video is uploaded. And if you have any questions, if anything was confusing on this video, if you have any suggestions, anything, go ahead and comment below. We'll make sure to get right back to you. As always, thank you so much for tuning in to Starving Artist Courses. Now go ahead and practice and start dreaming out loud.